I don't love him. I said I'm no longer in love with him.
But that destroyed him.
Well, I can't help that. That's what I said. I'm not in love with you.
No, that's not what you said.
Kelly,
we're not going to
don't
do
you
that.
love her?
We're not doing that.
Yes,
But he's not, because it's a blame game, and nobody wants to deal with
I'm
that.
not blaming anything. I'm just stating what you said.
What's going on, people? We are back again with another MovingMAD video, and this one right here is all about Molly and Kelly. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a flashback to last week we witnessed Molly tell Kelly that he did not love her anymore, or at least was not in love anymore, and therefore she then continued to proceed to tell him that she was not in love with him as well. Now, of course, this triggered Kelly purely because, well, one, she's telling him how he feels, but most importantly, she's now also confirming how she feels. And how she feels is that she is not in love with him. Meanwhile, he still is in love with her. Well, he says that it's not a matter of where I'm not in love with her anymore. I definitely have a lot of love for her and I still want to be with her. Now, of course, in this situation right here, this is when, as you can see, they're all talking about it. And to be honest with you, it is quite annoying because when it comes to Molly and Kelly, it is always a matter of tick for tack. It is always a matter of who said what, and it is quite jarring. It is quite boring. It is quite exhausting. I mean, look at it this way. The fact that Molly went out of her way last week to tell Kelly how he feels, that was out of line. I don't feel like she was in the position to tell him that he is not in love with her anymore. Now, of course, when it came to herself telling him that she was no longer in love with him, the only issue that we had after that was that, well, Kelly then proceeded to walk away. But between the time of Molly saying what she said compared to when Kelly then initially decided to walk away, Molly never actually elaborated on what she meant. And that's why Kelly obviously feels the way he feels, and that's why he's told the other people on the show that, hey, she told me that she's no longer in love with me. And now, you know, Molly's out here saying that's not what I actually said. Obviously what I meant was that I do love you, I'm just not in love with you anymore. And listen, that is easily true, but I'm not going to sit here and act as if Molly didn't get a chance, or didn't have the time, shall I say, to actually enhance that last week. But hey, this is what happens when you don't tell the full truth or the full thing that you got to say. But we continue.
I'm checked out. I'm not begging nobody to be with me. I'm sorry. I'm still that dude. Somebody will want to be with me.
Is there any coming back?
No, ain't no coming back. There's no coming back with me.
I definitely do respect the fact that Kelly says to himself that I'm still that dude, which means he still has a certain level of value for himself. It means that he's still in a position where he has self-care and he knows that he's worth more than what Molly is giving him. And also he knows that what he's got to give someone else, there's someone else out there that's going to appreciate it, and someone else out there that's actually going to fall in love with him, and he can also fall in love with them and not have these issues that he has at this moment in time with Molly. And I respect that, absolutely. And it is a very good thing that he's like, listen, it's done now. There's no point in me being here anymore. Okay, it's time to walk away and just go our separate ways. And you know what? Kudos to him.
Is he financially contributing to your relationship?
No. And that is a problem.
I completely understand people wanting to be in a relationship with someone that is financially stable. In fact, everyone should desire to want to be in a relationship with somebody that is financially stable and somebody that can also bring something to the table when it comes to helping with the finances. Whether that is the man coming in and taking over the whole thing, or whether that is a matter of a man and woman coming together and then sharing the bills, however you want to do it. Both of you two should definitely be in a position, I would imagine, where financials are quite stable on both sides, or at least on the man's side anyway. Now, when it comes to Molly and Kelly, she's saying that he's come into their life and he's been unable to provide anything financially, and that is a massive problem. Now, of course, I don't know what type of conversation that they've had prior to Kelly up and leaving and obviously wanting to be close to her and wanting to live near her and obviously wanting to be with her, which obviously makes this whole video a whole lot more challenging because Kelly is pretty much giving us nothing in terms of any information about what has gone down. Each time something happens, he gets up and leaves, and he leaves us all thinking, okay, so how are we supposed to defend you? And that is one of my biggest challenges and one of my biggest problems with Kelly. But either way though, Molly is saying that financially he has not been able to support me or anything else around me, and that stuff just doesn't fly with me. In fact, one of the other biggest stresses is the fact that she's not ready to be with someone who is in retirement mode. You know, because when it comes to him, he's moved, he's left his job, he's retired, and now he's just trying to enjoy the rest of his life until XYZ. But for Molly now, for her, she's like, well, I'm a mum, and also on top of that, I'm also a business owner, so I've still got an active life of me working around. And I don't know if I can really be with someone who doesn't really want to be a part of that kind of journey. And you know what? I can 100% respect that, and I can 100% understand that, but it is very hard to pinpoint the actual issues given the fact that Kelly keeps giving us absolutely nothing when it comes to any context. But hey, we continue.
And with Kelly about how he feels or how I feel, he shuts down. He puts a wall up, he shuts down. And in order to have a very successful relationship, you gotta have a real clear line of communication.
It would be very nice if Kelly would come out and tell us why he's unable to communicate, why he puts up this wall every time there's an opportunity to communicate. But each time that happens, the communication that comes from his side is non-existent. So it is very, very important that at least he explains that to at least someone, you know, so at least we know. Now, whether or not that be Molly, which probably isn't going to be Molly, but either way though, I feel like there should be a reason that he should at least give us. Now, of course, we know that there's a whole court case going on, and obviously that is something that a lot of us believe is why he's not speaking up. But either way though, that is a matter of us just guessing of why he's not speaking. I do feel like as the audience, because we invest our time watching 90-Day franchise itself in particular, we are entitled to know why, you know, you've brought two people in for a show called The Last Resort, where they're supposed to be in couples therapy, where they're supposed to open up and have conversations to help better their relationship, but yet we got a couple where you got one of them that is, well, at this moment in time, allegedly telling us how she feels. But I say allegedly because we don't know if what she's saying is true. But meanwhile, we've got the other guy who doesn't want to say anything, you know? And it's very, very irritating for me anyway, at least. I don't know about you, but for me, 100%. But as far as I'm concerned, Kelly has said, listen, I'm walking away now. And I think the fact that he says walking away now is more than enough for us to be like, okay, cool, finally, it's about freaking time, because there is no point in you being here if you're both on two completely different pages and only one of you is actually communicating with us. And also on top of that, the person that is communicating, a lot of people are wondering if that person's even telling the goddamn truth. You know what I mean? So yeah, thank you so much for your time. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.